Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're gonna try to get sort of a edge of breakup tone from the Katana RC Gen 3. Okay, so I have kind of a blank thing here going on, and my chain is here on the left. As you guys can see, I have the mod, effects and booster. I don't know if I'm going to use this chain, but for now, it's the way it is. I'm just going here to EQ and put this everything at noon because it's already was done for another patch. Okay, and flat. Okay, we probably won't need this second EQ, but anyways, let me just put this as it is. Okay, now it's great. And I'm on the push it channel, and I'm using the vintage cab, and everything is sort of at noon, sort of, okay? And by itself already has that kind of breakup tone, but we can improve it much better. I'm using this Fender Strat Mic NTG signature guitar. Of course, it's not like the original, it's a copy, but it's a great guitar nonetheless, sounds great for vintage tones. Okay, so basically you already have sort of a vintage kind of tone. And the thing with the Katanas is the fact that usually the Boss Katana, not so much with this one, but Boss Katana MK1, MK2 and Gen 3, the presets that come from factory could be much better, and I think it's a selling point, a very strong selling point, and I think Boss disregards that a little bit, and if they were better, people would listen them to in the stores and try them out and probably have a different opinion, because you really have to go deep dive in Boston Studio to get the best of these kind of amps. Not so much with the Artist Gen 3, but anyways, it's always the same. And some people don't do that, and they just pick up the Katana, try it out, and don't like it. That's perfectly normal, because you have to go in here. Also missing is a tuner, but you know, that's for another video probably. So we have this tone on my neck pickup here on my Strat. There's a little bit of is, because it's normal, single coils, and I have a lot of stuff here. Other thing that it should come by default engage is the noise suppressor that you can only engage when you connect it to your computer. But let's see if they step up their game. So I'm on the push it channel. By itself is a different channel, also presented on the Katana Gen 3. It sounds pretty nice. But I want to do something different here, so I'm going to start to get some mids out, because I'm going for more of a Fender amp, and they are pretty scooped, right? It's really starting to break up. If I decrease my gain here, the volume will go out as well. You see, if I do this, so you have a little bit of edgy breakup, but not what I want to. Increase a little bit here. Don't know yet if I'm going to use some booster or not, but first things first. First thing I noticed, at least in my room, there's a lot of resonance, a lot of bass. I'm going to take a little bit of resonance here, around that. And now I'm going to increase the presence because I want those glassy tones. And I rely much more on the presence knob than on the treble knob, because the treble kind of brings some harshness to it. And the presence is different. Already sounding much better. We have some noise, but I would leave it like this, because if I'm going to put it like that, it's going away, but it's going to cut a lot of notes. And the noise somehow makes part of the thing, right? Okay, still I find it a little bit aggressive. So we have vintage, modern. Let's try modern. Let's try deep. but I prefer to go with the vintage tone or vintage cab. Alright, so now I can go straight into my EQ here, and I want to cut this annoying frequency because it's there. If I do this and just put the EQ like this, it's not a very good frequency here, and I'm going to take out like round 2 with an open Q, and cleans up much better. I want to have that kind of shiny tone, Silvery Vaughan and stuff like that. It's going to depend on your guitar, your pickups. This is mostly designed for single coil pickups, and I'm capturing the tones with an SM57, not on right on the con, a little bit to the right, so it doesn't get too harsh. I always capture my tones with a microphone. I only use USB if I want to go into full stereo effects like delay, ping pong, and stuff like that. Now this is another frequency that I want to cut a little bit, like -2 as well, or more, depends. It's interesting because on this amp, the speaker is not as bright, it's more rounded sounding, so you don't almost need to cut the eye cut, you know, it's flat, totally flat, and it's not ear piercing, even on a bridge pickup. And it's a pickup that I really don't fancy on strats, you know. Forget about my playing because I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. So in terms of the chain that we have here, we can have like on modulation, we can have a compressor or a graphic EQ. I'm thinking about what it's better. Although a compressor is great, and I love to use compressors, I'm not going to use one because it sort of compresses the tone, right? The thing is to compress a tone, and I want it to be more dynamic and not so much cutting, you know, leveling the patch. So in modulation we have an EQ. Unfortunately you have to do this to put everything at, there's no shortcut for this one. And you can use EQ as your booster as well, you know. There's several types of boosters that you can use without necessarily being boosters. So everything on 0, if I engage it now, it's on plus 6 dBs, it's on the amp in. It's going to increase my volume, oops, and probably my distortion. Let's check out. So I'm gonna leave it on, but as is, everything at noon. Maybe I need to go here later. Now let's go to our EQ again. Now I do know that these kind of amps also don't have too much of a high-hand harshness to it, okay? And when I increase the gain, you notice the high end becomes more apparent. And not so sweet, so I'm gonna put it like this, but now I'm gonna engage variation mode. Let's check out the difference. Without. With. Sort of on this variation mode depends on the channel you're using, and on this situation you kind of get more of a scoop tone and cleaner. Sometimes it's the opposite on a brown channel, for example. So I'm going more towards this. But then you lose some strength, so we have to compensate. So probably I'm going to use my second EQ, put it on, and they're both amp out. I don't want them amp in, all right? And it's probably going to 200 and just increase a little bit, 2 decibels. Okay, and with a wide open Q. All right, now, what I'm gonna do now is to cut around 10 kilohertz. If you want to play like John Frusciante and stuff like that, you're going to need a compressor, right? But not for this one. Now, I'm going to leave Bloom for the last thing. I'm going to my booster, and I'm going to my clean boost first, and put this sort of at noon as well, if it lets me. Always this thing with the numbers, okay, and effect level like this. So it won't be much of a change, I hope. Engage it now. This could be good to further shape your tone without necessarily increase your gain, okay? But I'm going to increase a little bit, like around 20. And since it's a clean boost, it won't affect your original tone, like a tube screamer or something like that would dramatically change your tone. So it sounds good so far. Now, if you want to do like, again, Pink Floyd and stuff like that, and depending on your strat, you're going to need a compressor to sustain those notes. You know? You'll notice that it's lacking a compressor. But I'm trying not to go that way. Now, I'm going to increase my resonance. I took it before, it was too boomy here on the room, but right now kind of sounds good, but I'm going to my EQ, and even so, take around 60 on the low cut. Now, depends on your definition of edge of breakup. For me, this is more than enough, but I can increase a little bit more the gain and try to play with dynamics so I can have like a clean tone and a breakup tone. But maybe this is a little bit too low. I'm going to increase it again. Now too much bass. I'm going to decrease the bass here. Now this one I can play harder and starts to break up. But I can play softly. So I'm kind of happy with this one. Less bass. Treble, I'm going to take a little bit. Now I'm going to cut till 5 just to see what happens. Maybe too dark and you start to enter like on Dumble territory. Nothing wrong with that, sounds great, but I'm going to leave it at 10 because I need that high-end sparkle. Okay, now, one key frequency on this kind of amps, if you want to make the amp stand out on a mix, it's around 150 or 3K. So I'm going to try it out on my second EQ here. I'm going to increase by 5 decibels just to see what happens. Still a little bit muddy, so I'm going to put it like 2K. I think it's too much of a boost, but anyways, let me try 3. This will make your tone stand out more in your band and in the context of recording. Disengage this EQ. Engage it. I'm going to narrow my mid Q here so it doesn't poke out too much. We still have some hiss because of the single coils and all the gear that I have here, which is perfectly normal. But one thing that you don't want to do on this kind of tones is doing this, just to get rid of the noise, because the noise it's part of the thing, right? And if you cut it too much, then you're gonna end up like when you're doing a solo or something, some notes will be cut. So I avoid doing this. I prefer to hear a little bit of hiss around here to make it more, you know. Now I'll probably go into my mod, and now I'm going to increase around 8K. This is boosting 8K on the front end of the amp for a more shiny tone. And it's beginning to take shape. Also, I'm going to try 16K, but I doubt that this will be very pleasant. Yeah, you get to start to get those weird frequencies. So I'm going to actually cut it around -5. Or even more, -10. Let's go to the second position. Okay, not so much here, and also here on 2K, on 1K I mean, 2K. All right, if I take it out. But you're not just boosting the EQ, you're boosting the front end of the amp and having more distortion, more signal. And this kind of EQ, you can put a parametric EQ if you want to, but I like to use this one. So I'm going to take this one when a parametric get more concise with specific frequencies. Now I'm going to increase here around 125 by 2 decibels or 3. Now, let me engage the bloom and see what happens. And this adds some kind of magic to tone. It's hard to describe, but without the bloom, with the bloom, brings the tone alive. And that's one of the things I love about this feature. Now you can increase your gain depending, as I said before, on your idea of edge of breakup tone. This one, if you play softly, and then if you increase your peak attack, you get all that extra juice. But I'm going to increase a little bit more the gain and take a little bit of bass. Okay, I think it's good enough. Let's go to our effects. So I want some plate reverb, probably. Let's check out how it sounds. We do a lot of reverb first. Let's check out our room reverb. It's also good. And our all. If you want to go totally vintage, just go with the spring reverb. It's kind of cool. I really like this reverb, but and if you want to go like John Mayer, just increase your, you have that, want to have that, you know, before the reverb, and decrease here the high cut, some pre-delay, and you have that sort of spring simulation, you know. See? Sounds really good. Now if you want to go for more for a tone like this, I will, not here, I would go and put it like so. Check it out, the difference. I'm gonna leave it at 5K because I'm noticing that as I play harder, some frequencies stand out that I don't like and reduce the treble. Some more of arch frequencies. Now on the second position. And why not increase our reverb? I mean, in terms of effect level. Density, color is very colorful. Darker. Very cool. I love this pre-delay thing. And increase to 4 seconds here, the reverb. Even so, I want to cut here something that is annoying me, and it's probably what? Okay, let's go to effects, no, to mod. 250, around 5 minus 5. Cleaner, much cleaner. Now I'm going to leave the patch as is because I really like the way it is. And not going to use the global, not going to use the contour because I think there's no need to it. And not going to use the compressor unless I want something like Pink Floyd or something like that. Not even the delay. It's more of a really solid vintage tone. You guys notice that when I increase here, the effect level does not match the knob here. Don't ask me why, but it's the way it is. So you can play with lots of reverb. And then you can change for a different booster to get more drive, okay? Cut a little bit of bottom hand because this tool also is a shaping tool as an EQ. Okay, I'm going to record it as it is, already called Edge of Breakup. And I'm going to put it here on Librarian, create a live set called Edge, JN, my name Edge. And I'm going to put it there and share it with you guys. But I highly advise you to try with different boosters. More of like mid, let me just put this on my desktop. Mid boost and stuff like that, because probably you get better results than if I stick here to Screamer, I'll get very different tones. It will sound good, but the thing is, it's more for a solo thing, right? It totally changes the character of your song. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very long video. And use the patch. Let me know how it sounds on your Katana Artist Gen 3. Unfortunately, this will not work with the Katana Artist, but it will MK2. But I think it will work with or maybe not, with the Gen 3. Now I'm totally confused. Anyways, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would help a lot. Use the patch. Let me know how it sounds. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Cheers.